Welcome back, everybody. Today we are going to work on Merle again. This time we're going to do the driver's side dog leg. Last week we finished up the passenger side. So I thought, well, we'll attack the driver's dog leg. I started to attempt the front nose last week, and I'll have a video on that when it's done, but we found a little more rust, so we had to order another patch panel. But we do have another special guest in here today. We have John over here.
Hey.
He's working on his 69 convertible. He's finishing up putting the frame together. So that's his project. So
Slowly but surely coming together.
Yeah.
The other half's over there.
Yeah, the other part of his car is right here. On my side days, I do some body work on it for him. So with the dog leg, I will do similar to what I did on the other side. I'm going to come through initially with the Sawzall and cut the majority of it out. And then I will come back and slowly take where the spot welds are. We need to be very careful not to ruin this lip where the rubber floor mat goes underneath. So I'll show you more of that as I do it. But let me get set up and start cutting some of this stuff out, and then I'll come back and show you what we have. Where I left you last, I was going to cut out the majority of our dog leg, which I did. You need to start taking off the rest of it now. I like to have the majority of it off. What I do too is I like to take it off in little pieces. So I've taken the little hacksaw and I've cut little slices in here, so I'll only be bending this down at a time. And there's about, I'll exaggerate and say there's 1 million spot welds up here. There's just no way I could drill them all out, because they're all a whole bunch of little tiny ones. Maybe you can kind of see with where I took it off here. I mean, every one of these is a spot weld, and if I were to try to drill them out, there'd be nothing left to this floor whatsoever. So what I do is I break the majority of this off, and then I'll be able to come back with my grinder and grind those down. So the way I'm going about doing this is, like I said, I do it in pieces, and then I'm taking the air hammer or air chisel. Problem with the air chisel is it can do a lot of damage if you're not careful. You have to go very slow because it will rip metal fast. So what I'm doing is I'll take and put my pliers on here, and I will bend this down to give me some access. A little bit better in there. Looks like I need to cut that a little more. So at least I can get in there a little bit better. It's a slow process, but it's the only way that I've come up with taking this off. So now I'll take the air hammer and I'll go real slow. And it's just little short bursts here and there. what you're trying to do is you're trying to rip the piece that you want to get off, is what you're trying to do. You know, if I sit and hold this steady, I may rip my floor. It also sometimes depends on which way you put you've got the profile here on how you put that. In this case, I'm putting it on there like this. If I go this way, I'm going to tend to damage the floor more. Well, there's one piece. So that's how I'm going about that. And like I said, I'll be able to take the grinder now and be able to take those off. Same thing goes with along here. So that's what we want to do, is slowly take all that stuff out. Right here, all along here. I'll have to do the same thing along here. This piece will come out. I'm not going to cut the floor up any further. Our patch panel will come through there. But it's slowly just working that all out of there to get back to where we were. So let me finish that up, and I'll come back and I'll show you some more how we've got it cleaned up. All right. So I've got everything tore out, I believe. I did the floor also. Got everything out of here. Underneath here. All that stuff. Front part of the A-pillar. So what I'm going to do now before I start fitting anything is I'm going to start cleaning up all the rust. And I'm going to use my laser cleaner to do that. So leave it on for a little bit. See how that works. Basically zaps the rust off. So I call it the zapper. So I've got my respirator I'm going to put on and my glasses. Alright, that'll do for now. For the most part, it's clean. Get the beam out of there, we'll do more. But now I'm ready to start fitting our panels. So let me get that all set up and I'll bring you back. Hello everyone. So I put my outer skin on for the B pillar. pretty straightforward actually. Basically fit up what I had to do. I did have to do some tweaking with it on the shrinker stretcher to get it to match this curvature. It was off quite a bit, but I wanted to get that in there. Now I'm fitting this splash panel. The splash panel comes as all one piece, but you can't get it in there as one piece because it needs to slide all the way in here, but you have to be able to slide it back enough because it actually goes inside of here. It goes underneath that skin. So that's why I wanted to get my skin on there. I did have to actually go, it didn't come with this indented lip on either. I had to go over to the bead roller and put that on because you need to makes it flush with there. So I cut it and I had trimmed some off and I get it fitting here. And I've already cut this one. I had it in there, went from the inside and cut it. And now this one, this piece of it, I have to put behind there. I did my trimming to make it come up there. So now I'm probably gonna put a screw or something right here to pull this tight and hold it there. And then I'll end up cutting this together as one piece. So that's how I'm fitting that splash panel in there. Then we'll be able to start with our dog leg. There does need to be considerable reconstruction of that B-pillar on the inside, but I'll do that from the inside of the bus after I've got this portion of it done. So that's where we're at. I'll weld that in there, get it cut, weld it in, and then we'll start fitting our dog leg. Talk to you in a bit. Lunchtime's over. Let's get this dog leg on, huh? So I've got the splash in there, panel all in. Now it's time to try to fit this ugly beast. First thing I'll tell you right off the bat is this part right here. I don't know if you can tell, but I've got it bent out of the way because on every single one of them that I've ever done, this sticks this way too far. It sticks out further than this. So I always cut this down here and I bend it in to do my initial fitting. So if you don't have to do it, you got lucky. So we're going to fit this up in here and let's see how that goes. The other thing, had to do it on the other side. This side is going to be the same way. This is where your floor is supposed to sit on top of here. You can see I've got it on top of the floor right now, because actually this has to go up more to get our gap tight. I had to do it on the other side. What I had to end up doing was cutting like this, a little piece of pie. I'm kind of exaggerating it, and then dropping it down to get underneath there once I got it in place. Here's some spot welds from the original one, so you can tell that it needs to go up there. So that's how that is. This particular panel has the what you would want to call it, but curved, messed up. I'm trying to think of what you would call it, but it comes down and it matches the curve here, but I'm not sure if you can see it or not. It doesn't come straight across here. It kind of like curves out and down. So that happens very often. Got lucky on the passenger side, it didn't do that, but I know the one rear patch panel did. So what I have to do usually is put a cut in here part ways, and that lets me kind of fold it up to get it back where it is. It isn't terrible, but it's not right. It isn't the straightest dog leg either. It's kind of bent up, but I guess we work with what we have. So that's what I'm going to start doing, is I'm going to get this up here and start getting a screw or something to hold it where I want it. Same with the back. Then I'm going to get my floor mounted in here. Got to make the little piece of repair for here. It has the lip, but I'm going to get my floor in there first, kind of like I did on the other side, so it strengthens this weak panel back up. But so I'll come back with more when I'm closer to having a better fit. All right. Hello guys. Floor is in. Now this dog leg sucks. This one is not as nice as the other side. The other side fit pretty decent. Where do I start? So I've got it up enough. Got my in and out. I'm marked here. So I got my gap here. I've managed, I'm a little bit tighter here than here. Not bad through here. Now one of the issues I do have, the door has got a huge dent right here. So I will be able to, I'll probably cut this to start massaging that out. So I'll be able to get my seam a little bit better. I've got this up enough here. These bay windows typically have a lot more gap on the bottom than they do the other ways. We are pretty wide right in here, so it looks like this whole dog leg kind of sags there. I've got this pushed in as far as I can. I've got to come out here a little bit, and I can do that. I've got the room to, I'll be able to pull that out and screw it in to hold it. But well, here's a good, I know I was trying to explain this yesterday. You might be able to see it really good from this point, how this kind of curves down. I'll show you how I'm going to fix that. But so back to this door. So we're flush here and we're flush here, and this whole dog leg is out. It's bowed out. Not sure how I'm going to attack that at this point. And then we have a nice even door here where it's going to gap with the front nose. But when we come back here, we're good, and then all of a sudden we get real narrow. And the door is where it needs to be up here. It's not sagging. So always one side. right? My plan of attack, I'm going to probably have to somehow massage this door itself, because this B-pillar looks pretty straight. So I'm thinking somehow we're going to have to work this door a little bit and modify it. I'm not sure. This part of the dog leg, I don't know if taking a piece of wood and tapping on that, maybe that'll give me enough. I don't know. I'll probably have to try that. But figured I'd show you what I have, but it's a mess. Not a fun one. On a plus, the floor went in there really nice and looks good. So when I figure it out, I'll come back and show you what I did. All right? All right, we're getting closer. Got ourselves screwed in. Everything pulled out. Here's the floor here. I don't know how well you can see it. I sliced a piece of pie out of there, so I'll have to weld that back together to bring that back down with that. Got this part of the door where this dent was. I went from the inside and I tapped this edge back out. So I got that edge pretty straight. Follows the contour of our dog leg pretty well. This other part here, I took the BFH and I sat and did that to it till we're flush. So that worked out pretty decent. It was just enough that it gave us a decent flushness, whatever you want to call it. Then on the door where we had our gap was too narrow, I took and I put a big slice all the way down here on this edge, ground a little bit out of there so this can move in. So what that gives us is the stick seems to be about what the gap is. So now I'll be able to put that in there and I'll be able to weld that edge back up. So that's how I'm fixing that door gap. I'd rather it when I can add some on there. Our other area that we had issues with down here, where we're sticking so far out here, I put these slices in here. So what I'll be able to do now with that slice is I'll be able to bend this just ever so slightly. Now I might have to put another one in here, but I don't think so. But that's how I'm gonna work this back into place. It's just a little bit at a time. There's really no other way to do it. You know, you look at that and you say, well, geez, you got to cut a brand new piece up like that. Yeah, that's what we got to do, because stuff isn't factory. So, live with it and deal with it. So I'm going to get everything welded up, back up here, and I'll bring you back. And once that's all welded, I should be set with this dog leg and the door gap. So I'll bring you back when I have the finished product. All right? Finally, here it is. That's all welded on. That's taken care of. Here's where that was fixed up. Doesn't look like it ever was cut. There's our door. Shuts nice. So now I can go through and I'm going to pop a few dents out. I see there's a little rust hole right here. Rusted from the inside out. So that's a wrap on the dog leg on this side. Now I can move back onto the front end. I had started the video on that a while ago, but this piece was so bad that I had to order a new one, so I've got that here. So that'll be the next video, finishing up the front nose. Thanks guys, appreciate it. Please subscribe, helps me out big time. Love doing this for you guys. I hope you learned something. Leave comments down below, let me know what you like, what you don't like, if you got any requests or something. But again, please subscribe and look forward to bringing you some more videos. Take care.